Do you hear me now? Can anybody hear me? Let me know in the comments, please, because I'm not entirely sure why you can't hear me. And here we go. Okay, perfect. Now, I'm not entirely sure why it wasn't working before, but okay. Essentially, I'm going to be working on Fireball Jutsu, and you guys can message in the chat and I'll respond to you whenever I can. But let me actually fix this. There's an echo, huh? Mute my stream. Can you hear me now? Is there still the, do you still hear the echo? Hopefully you can. I'm not sure why OBS does this all the time. You guys still hear the echo? Okay, added the mic back. Well, I guess I'm going to need this for whenever I stream for some reason. Not entirely sure why, but it is a bit weird. Output. Should be picking up the mic. Okay. What do you know? Alright, well, that's enough of this for now, so hopefully you guys can hear me. And just to get this started off, I was working on Hogwarts. It's all put together for the most part. I need to add in a couple of things so that when you're walking around in the map, you can walk from building to building and you can actually walk through it. But yeah, this is it so far. So you'll be able to walk through the greenery, walk into the different buildings. We have our Great Hall that I had released separately, but now, if you look close, this has been fixed already. I just need to upload the new version. But all of these items are going to be individual, so you can pick them up, throw them at enemies, actually hurt enemies with them. Actually, you might. I might make it so you can actually injure enemies with them. I don't know how much damage that's going to do. We have all of our moving staircases right here, and it's just going to be awesome overall. So, without further ado, why don't we open up our Blade and Sorcery save and get to work on Fireball Jutsu. Now, luckily, this was in a previous save that I had because I lost about 3 months of mods for Blade and Sorcery. If you want to see something cool, Daryl, I can actually, I'll take a second to show you, because I know this is, texturing is going to suck, but one of the things that I made sure to talk to the developer of Hogwarts about is that all of these names are, they make it so much easier. Because you know how people typically have terrible names? Well, these actually correspond with what they're supposed to. It's not just a bunch of random letters and numbers. So Great Hall, textures, got our buffet, and everything. So looking forward to that. Okay, now we actually get on the Fireball Jutsu. Hey Cloudside, how's everything going? So we have a Fireball Jutsu, and essentially it's going to be kind of like a reskinned Amaterasu, but it also does damage to enemies on collision. It's a giant fireball and it explodes. So we have the code so far, and I'm pretty sure that it's done. So what I'm going to need to do is just make sure to have an effect for everything, so it's actually as good as I want it to be. So for starters, we have our Fireball Jutsu. Let's change this. And as you can tell, let's remove this. This is the Fireball. Let's take everything. This is what it will look like when it actually goes and it hits an enemy. So, super excited for that. I think it's going to be great. What we're going to want to do is, let's create this as a separate mod to start. Yep, it is. I have a few things open. And yeah, Cloudside, it's Fireball Jutsu. Meow, how would I even make an Among Us Jutsu? I don't understand. What would the Among Us Jutsu even do? Okay. And Daryl, it is my gaming laptop. That's the big issue, because I'm not on my desktop now that I'm a little indisposed at the moment. So here we go. But we have our sound and everything. So the actual sounds from the show. And then on fire. And then the softer one. Hey, young Max. If you want updates on the Susanoo, you gotta talk to Daryl over there. Because he's the one in charge of it. He's the one that's been busting his butt to work on it. Honestly, spawning a, whatever you call them, the creatures from Among Us, the Among Us people, spawning one of them every time you pull the trigger would actually be pretty easy. We already have mods that do that. Thank you. So, alright. Let's stay focused. So we have our Fireball Jutsu Deflect. Now what we're gonna want to do is, we already have our burn right here, so when it hits the ground, these are the flames that are gonna show up. And now that I see this, I have a little bit more expertise since the last time I worked on this. So why don't we change this a bit? Okay. And with this, we can have the base layer right there at the bottom. Okay, I'm guessing this right here. Those are both together, which is a little bit interesting. I'm not sure why they are, but let's make sure to set this as a cone, because it's only a sphere right now. If we set that as a cone, what we can do is, if we, those are both together, so what we're going to do is separate them. Make it a little bit easier to work on. Cloud side, I agree with you. No Among Us mods, at least not right now. Okay, so let's do a -90 right there, and what we're going to want to do is turn up the speed. My question is, which way is it going? Because it should be moving up towards the cone. So let's... So it's a 3 maybe. Yeah, that looks like it should be a big enough burn. It's definitely a lot larger than the Amaterasu burn. Okay. So we have our fire right here, and what we want to do is, let's increase the speed a little bit. Huh, it's interesting, it's not actually going anywhere. So in this case, let's try and figure out what the issue is. And there we go, I had limit velocity over lifetime checked. So if we actually keep that checked on, what we want to do is let's increase the speed just a little bit. And what we can do is if we set our speed to 0, it's still gonna move. Hey Cole, everything's great. Ah, you're lime sleazy. I got it. Okay. So now we have this, and what we're going to want to do is just an easy little thing with the cone. So we have our cone shape already. And what we're going to want to do is so you notice that it's spread up like this. What we want it to do is to converge right in the middle. So what we can do is, I wonder if we set this to -5. And let's turn off limit velocity over lifetime. Oh, it's actually pretty cool. At one point, I do plan on making Madara's Fireball, or the Majestic Destroyer Flames, whatever it's called. I forget. Let's do 2 random constants, 0.05, 0.1. Nope. Okay. Looks like we're just gonna need to keep the limit velocity over lifetime for now. I do want it to converge in the middle though. I'll have to take a look at that another time. But okay, for now, we did make it look at least a little bit better. So now our fireball jutsu will look like this. And let's just make sure everything is set to 0, 0, 0. Just like every good particle should be. Ah, look at that. Yep, let's change this back again. Set it to -90. And here we are. Now, that's some pretty good fire. Ah, you're unclear. Okay, I gotcha. Okay, so we have our fireball flames. Now what we need is a deflect. So, just like Amaterasu when it hits a shield or item or something, Stirring, I've already made the Kamui. Can one of you that's a patron link it in the chat? because if you link the Patreon, that would be very helpful. What do you mean, do I have the giant Rasengan? That's already a thing. So let's duplicate this right now. And we're gonna name it Fireball Jutsu Deflect. And since this is just gonna be a little fire effect, we can delete these, and let's only focus on this main one right here. Alright, now what we're going to want to do is make sure that it's set to sphere. Let's set it to 0.1, that should be good. Meow, it depends on what system you're using. So if you're using the Oculus, you have to open up the spell wheel and press trigger at the same time. It's a little bit complicated, but I have the Valve Index, so I have the extra button that you guys do not. So that is something that I will look to change in the next versions, which will hopefully help a lot of you guys that are struggling with actually getting it to work. Okay, so we have our deflection right here. And you know what we're going to want to do is let's get it to converge just a little bit more. 0, let's set it to 10. Okay, it's not what I'm looking for. Alrighty. So we do have color over lifetime. Let's actually get that to work. Oh, that's size. Color over lifetime looks like it's working fine. Honestly, what we can do is let's make it even smaller. It's not having an effect on it. Okay. I say apple pie. There's nothing better than a home-cooked apple pie. Better yet, you know what we're gonna do is cheat a little bit. So let's go to the dust mod. Explosion. Perfect. So what we're just gonna do is keep that in there. And while this is here, let's go back in here, unpack it, and you know what? I'm gonna edit it like this. So if let's take a look at what we're using, the particles, shield mobile. Alright, so let's get rid of that. See how it works. Okay. I'd always recommend using a template, guys. It makes working on mods a lot easier. So, our small fire, and you guys remember it was the shield mobile. There we go. Set up our texture sheet. Beautiful. That's a very good question. I think that it's definitely possible. It's just, Would you shrink items with it? Shrink yourself with it? Honestly, you could probably do both. I know Drags had made an Ant-Man mod where you could essentially do the same thing. So, yeah, I don't see why not. Use that and talk to Leinica, because he made the scale spell. So those could both be used together. That would be pretty cool. Okay. Let's set this one to be a little bit more orange. And a little bit lighter. So we have a nice little explosion right there. Let's make the lifespan just a little bit shorter. 0.52. Ding. Yeah, too long. 0.25 to 0.6. That could probably be done with the infinite Tsukuyomi. I don't see why not. Which NPC did you get, Daryl? Let me know. Are you talking about the one that I asked you to make, or a different one? Ding, ding. Alright, so whenever it hits an item, it will collide like that. And I spent so much time creating the Darksaber that... Oh yeah, speaking of, the Darksaber, the new one is one of the things that I lost, so I gotta remake that when U10 rolls around. See, now that is a little bit large for my liking. So, let's add a size over lifetime, and let's just change this to 0.5. Even that is a little bit much. Let's set it to 0.4. I'm okay with that. 12 count. Oh, and a Shiki. You know, I haven't seen him in any of the Naruto games, so I'm not really sure where you'd find him. If you can, you're probably a wizard. So that would be pretty cool. I definitely love to fight against him. And I'm sure everybody else would too. Okay. So what we're going to need to do now is, I feel like this is a pretty good start. I don't want it to go out that far though, so if we set it to, let's do something like this. 0.2 to 0.6 maybe. 6 is a bit much, 4.5. And there you go. Now let me just turn down the gravity just a little bit. Perfect. That is perfect to me, guys. So, we now have our Fireball Jutsu. Deflect particles. The Unity files for the lightsaber, they are not on my Patreon as of this moment. Are you a patron? Are you a patron, Cloudside? Because if you are, I can go put those up there for you. Just let me know in the comments if you are. Or better yet, if you want to talk about me uploading something, you can always just add me and then DM me. Now, scientific ninja tools, those might be a little bit complicated because we have the bodies of them, of the characters, and the actual items so far. So I'm not entirely sure. Everything can pretty much be done. A Susanoo ribcage would be pretty cool. Okay. Cloudside, I believe that is the intermediate tier on Patreon, but just let me know when you become a patron, and I will put it up there for you. So just let me know when. Okay, back to work. So we have our deflect right there. We have our fireball jutsu burn. We have our imbue fireball jutsu ragdoll. Okay. So this guy right here, that's gonna be fun. Stephanie, you should definitely become a patron. I think everybody should become a patron, but you know, just my personal opinion. Okay, so we have our deflect right there. Why don't we... So what we need to do is the ragdoll burn. So for this, guys, if you don't already, it's the effect when somebody's just literally burning. So that size is a little bit big for me. So what we're gonna do is if we take out, let's see if we, nope. Let's take out these two guys right there. And what we're gonna want to do is do one first and then do the second. So actually, why don't we do that? Let's what we need to do first, we have the fire sound effect. Let's make sure to do the softer one because the loud one will actually hurt your ears quite a bit in game. Okay. We have our burn effect right here. We have our one. Okay. JoJo. I gotta be honest with you, the only anime that I've ever actually watched is Naruto. So if it comes to other stuff, you should probably leave it. You should you should probably leave it for somebody else to work on. Okay. So we have the fire that will be rotating around the enemy. Let's have some of it be a little bit more red, some be a little bit more orange. I think those are some nice colors, guys. And it's going to be the size. Monokage. What's up, buddy? How's everything going? All right. Well, if you know JoJo and you can get better at it, I definitely would recommend checking out some of the tutorials I've made because at this point there's, I think, close to 60, somewhere around there. All right, so we have some of these particles now. We have a couple of different colors popping in. Size over lifetime stays the same. Why don't we make the flames shrink just a little bit at the end of their life? So let's drop it down here. And maybe a little bit less. To make it a little more smooth. All right. We have our flames right here, and considering they're going to be on the player, or on the enemy that is, why don't we make them drop a little bit? Just for a little dramatic effect. Okay, and I gotta say, guys, that the size of it looks pretty decent to me as of right now. Yeah, I'm not in a rush. Why don't we make it just a little bit bigger? Or let's do 0.55. Now, summoning jutsu would be very cool. I will say, yeah. I did purchase a pack of some scrolls due to the a couple donations that we got. So those will be coming in the future. No idea when though. So I'm not going to get your hopes up, but they should be coming soon enough. Well, I shouldn't say soon enough. They will be coming eventually. Okay. So now what we're going to want to do is let's figure out. Nope, that's not it. Alright, let's figure out what this is using. A smoke sheet. Alright guys, we're using smoke. Got our smoke right here, and that doesn't look right, so we need to tile it properly. There's 5 down, 6 across. So let's... Where are we going? Texture sheet animation. 5 by 6. Nope. 6 by 5. I always do that wrong. Okay. Now, not entirely sure why the color looks like that, so why don't we change it up just a bit. Okay. Now we don't want it to be bright red like that, but we can add a little bit of red just for some variety in it. And based on how that's looking, it looks like it's going to be kind of annoying to look at actually. So let's set it to a 10. And let's decrease the size quite a bit. So let's do 0.4 and 0.8. That looks a little bit better for me. Now what we're going to need to do is... Yes, it does, Daryl. Okay, what we're going to need to do is let's shape it just a little bit. Let's make it a little bit larger. Now this drops as well, so alright. So this is what our burn effect is going to look like when it's on NPCs. And I figure, you know, it should move a little bit when it's actually on them. So what we're going to do is we're going to create 2 new ones. A hand chop. That would actually be pretty cool. Could always talk to Genix about that. I'm sure he'd be happy to work on it. But also, guys, I know there was a big complaint in the past about the Chidori, how you can stick it through your stick it through the enemies, but sometimes the collisions weren't always perfect. Well, Talion actually worked on something, and it should make it so that the collisions are perfect when it goes into the enemy. You can actually move your arm around them a little bit. So hopefully, you know, I'll try my best to get that into action so the Chidori is just a little bit better for you guys. Nothing but the best for the fans, am I right? So all these are at 0, everything's at 0, that's perfect. Now for these trails, you guys want to pay attention to this. Genix he's pretty awesome. It's through him helping me actually quite a lot through writing scripts and explaining certain things to me that I know as much as I do, that I've been able to make a lot of the scripts that I have for Trials of the Shinobi. So definitely I give a whole lot of credit to Genix. He's probably the guy that's helped me out the most. Let's do 2 right here. So just in case the enemy is moving, we set it to world, so it moves with the world. Ah, that doesn't look proper. Why? Haha. There we go. And now that it's done properly, it doesn't look that great. Okay, guys, give me 1 second. So the texture sheet was off. So what we're going to need to do is play around with it just a little bit. So now the fire moves perfectly. And we're going to have to increase the radius just a little bit. Let's decrease the size. Yeah, I definitely agree. Genix is something else. He's a great help and he's a great guy. So, props to him. Okay. So we have all this. I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm not really liking the smoke I don't think it fits very well with this. So, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to keep the burn without it. And because of it, we're going to add a little bit more. So if we set this to 25, now the enemy can burn a little bit more. Okay. And yeah, actually that should be it. So what did we name this? Imbue Fireball Jutsu Ragdoll. Now I do notice that I added two different ones. This one lasts for 3 seconds, this one lasts for 9. So what we're gonna do real quick is let's paste in that name, Fireball Jutsu Ragdoll. How long does this last? Oh, look at that. Exactly 3 seconds. How about that, guys? So, since this is the regular imbue ragdoll, let's change this to the Oh, I'm totally excited for the better animation and everything that's going to be coming. I think it's been a long time coming. And I really am. I'm super excited to see all the new things we're going to be able to do. Maybe custom animations, custom enemies. Honestly, at this point, I'm not entirely sure. All I do know is that all mods are going to break. That is without a doubt going to happen. So just be prepared for a lot of the modders to be crying. So that's the weapon ragdoll. So what we're going to want to do is, how do I... So if we go... So if we open up a new window right here, I'm not really sure how I can add multiple audio tracks onto each other. Maybe audio joiner. I use this site a lot, so it's very familiar to me. I definitely recommend using it. Pop it in right there. Soul spell will definitely be interesting because I don't know what it's gonna be, but hopefully it's gonna be something special. Let's make it a wave and let's join them all. Let's download it. Let's do soft fire. 3 seconds for that, and notice 3 seconds, 6 seconds. So something was not done right. So guess let's nope. I don't want anything to crossfade. I just want it to play as is. .6. Okay, so hopefully this is all 9 seconds of it. Yes, it is. Oh, you hear that, guys? That beautiful seamless loop. I love that. Can't even tell that the track ends. So, 9. Always make sure to label everything as easily as you can so that it's, or how do I say that? Make sure to label everything so that it's easier for you to find. It's probably a little bit better. So let's put that 9 second in there. And we are doing the Fireball Imbue Jutsu Ragdoll. Beautiful. Alright, guys. So that is... We have our long effect. Oh man, am I going to finish Fireball Jutsu tonight? Now that would be awesome. Deflect, we have our burn. We need our object. Okay. So some things I'm going to need some of you testers for are the ranges. Because I need to get it to spawn in front of only the head. And being completely honest with you, I'm not sure what the player's head position is, because normally it's X, Y, Z, but I don't really remember what it looks like in game. So I'm gonna have to play around with these values a little bit and get it to spawn in front of your head, a pretty good distance in front of your head, because of how big I want the explosion area to be. So, on that note, do we have an object yet? Yes, we do. No, we don't. Those are the particles. Let's see, how did I do this? Maybe I can teach you guys a little bit. So, it spawns the Fireball Jutsu object. Now it only spawns the item. It doesn't spawn any particles. It's been a little while since I looked at the code itself. But for those of you that are watching this, you get to see one of the scripts that's on my my Patreon. So good for you. So here we are. Now the object. Okay. So it doesn't appear that I spawn any particles. So, in that case, you know what that means? It means all the particles are attached to the item itself. So, what we need to do is make an item. And I'm sure you guys know an item that is already pretty perfect. The Rasen Shuriken. So, you notice that we have the object right here, but one thing I like doing is, if we go to it, no, where is it? Oh, I guess we'll split it up here too. Alright, well, there's the Rasen Shuriken. You guys can enjoy that. Oh, let me go back here. Haven't actually read your messages in a little bit. Yeah, Husky's made a lot of mods lately. Yeah, of course, Cloudside. I'm okay, Stirring. Just let me know, I guess. And Cloudside, being completely honest with you, I have no idea. Oh no, that's not Cloudside. That's Private Ryan. I have no idea when they're going to be adding multiplayer in. Hopefully they do, but I gotta be honest with you, it's not really in the plan. It's a potential, but with a game of this scale, it's going to be pretty difficult to implement. Luckily, we have a couple modders working on it. A couple very talented modders, I should say. So, I guess we'll see. Alright, we have our Rasen Shuriken. Now let's take this apart. And we can rename it Fireball Jutsu Object. Now, if you guys ever want me to go back and re-show you something that I'm doing, just let me know. I'm perfectly fine doing that. If the surprise was multiplayer, that would be an incredible surprise. As of this moment, I do not think it will be, but I will not crush anybody's hopes and dreams. So I guess we'll see, guys. Bread Jutsu. I mean, considering Cosby is French, I think I might have to do something like that. So instead of spawning a chakra rod in your hand, it should be a baguette. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about that? Baguette Jutsu. Then you can beat the enemies with that. Honestly, that's something that I'd love to use. I think that'd be a whole lot of fun. And actually, you guys can make that right now using the item spawner spell. Just spawn in the baguette instead of the default items. Multiplayer with mods would be very tough. Just imagine every single person has the dismemberment mod. Now that would be pretty cool. But then again, just a flick of the wrist, you chop somebody's head off. So we have our fireball jutsu object. Yeah, metal should be fine. So actually, fireball jutsu object. Let's save that right there. Toast the baguette with the fireball. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. So we have our fireball jutsu object. Now, what I'm going to be doing is, let's get rid of this garbage right there. I'm going to keep this in as a... Oh. Always make sure to have backups and save everything, unlike me. Because I definitely did not. And I lost 3 months of mods. You guys gotta stop talking about the baguettes. I'm getting hungry over here. Somebody's gotta become a patron right now so that I can go get myself a sandwich. Oh man, that's funny. Okay, so we have our fireball jutsu. All we're gonna do is just... Actually, we don't even need to do that. What we can do is easily just remove both of those. And we have the fireball jutsu attached to the object. So now it will follow it. And of course there's some particles along with it, because we need it to be, we need a trail. It's beautiful. What do you guys think about the size of this compared to the Darksaber? I personally think it's actually pretty good. But let me know what you guys think, because I'm kind of curious. And of course, I'm definitely going to need a couple testers with this, so don't hesitate to hit me up and ask. Because the final version will be going on my Patreon. And it might be the last one to go up on there for a little while before I make the full release, because I'm not really sure what else I should be adding. But yeah, so stay tuned for that, because I've been thinking about this for a little while now. I do plan on releasing Trials of the Shinobi soon enough, live, with everything that's on Patreon. So, yeah. I agree, Cloudside. It is a little bit tough, but I guess for the most part, for what I'm trying to accomplish, I think it's a decent size. So we have our object right here. What's this? The burn, the deflect, ragdoll. Let's drag that guy in right there. Fireball jutsu object. Yeah. Is that it? Might be. Let's save that. Now my question is, did I start working on it? No, I didn't. Of course. What do you mean your mod folder got deleted? So, shoot. Can I put a mouthpiece? What do you mean a mouthpiece? You mean for this mod? Not entirely sure what you're asking. Oh, there goes my alarm. Alright guys, the alarm went off. That means I got another couple of minutes and I'm going to start getting ready for bed. So, and how bad is it that I don't have my own mod to save, so I need to download it from Nexus? You gotta admit, that is kind of funny. Okay. So we have our Amaterasu right here, and it should essentially be the same stuff, so that's why I'm keeping it like this. It's just named different. And I will be... Oh, that reminds me, I do need to look through the code because I'm pretty sure I need to change it. Fireball Jutsu object. Okay. Fireball Jutsu, burn, Fireball Jutsu. Let's actually make sure that's the name. Fireball Jutsu, burn. Oh, maybe not. Shoot, what is it? So it's Fireball Jutsu, burn, baby, burn? Or no, this is the item module. So Fireball Jutsu, burn. Okay. So the naming is correct. Alright, Cloudside. Now I'm just going to be waiting for your name to pop up under the... Oh, here we go. Oh, wait a minute. We got 3 patrons? That's awesome, guys. I didn't even notice. How crazy is that? Thank you, guys. That's awesome. And don't forget to connect it to don't forget to connect your Discord to Patreon. No, yeah, your Patreon to Discord to Patreon, one of those, and then you can get the Discord role, the patron Discord role. That. So okay, but sweet, it's awesome. 3 new patrons. It's incredible, guys. So it seems to me that if only Private Ryan, everything goes towards mods. In this case, a lot of money has gone towards buying the assets for Trials of the Shinobi. The models and stuff, those don't come cheap. Hogwarts doesn't come cheap. You know, everything that you guys help me out with, I make sure to do my absolute best for you. So thank you guys so much. It's incredible. So one thing I do notice, though, is that I do not have the explosion. So what I need to do later is actually add the explosion in code. Well, for now, let's just finish up these right here. I agree, Meow, that it should come out small. But just for now, what I'm going to do is actually have it come out big so that I can see the mod a little bit better. And then I can always go back and change it. But no, that's okay, Private Ryan. I understand. I figured it was a joke. I just wanted to explain to you guys again that really I do put a lot of effort into this for you guys. And of course, because, you know, I love modding and I love Blade and Sorcery. So, yeah. But Fireball Jutsu. Yeah, do you know what? Let's keep the 0, because why not? Fireball Jutsu. Oh, shoot. Any of you know what the default fire imbue is off the top of your head? Okay, because I figure I might as well just do it like normal. Imbue, where is it? Imbue hit effect. Imbue Amaterasu. What am I looking for? Imbue Amaterasu. That was my custom imbue, I think. No, was it not? Should be. I'm gonna have to take a look at that again. No, see, that's weird. Okay. Well, in any event, what we're gonna have to do is... Nope, that's different. So, okay. So we're gonna have to just set it to regular fire imbue. And I figure I'm gonna keep it like this. Imbue. Fireball Jutsu ragdoll. Fireball Jutsu. Oh, no. Imbue fire. Yeah, there we go. Imbue. Fireball Jutsu. So then we have no conflicts with Amaterasu. And after I finish this one, guys, I think it's time for bed. Busy day tomorrow. Okay. Alright, guys, I think that is it for this live stream. Of course, thank you all for coming and watching. I greatly appreciate you all joining me, and I do plan on having another stream tomorrow, or at least in the next couple of days, where I'm going to be working in Hogwarts. So, with that, thanks for watching, guys.